Hello everyone, how are we doing? Is my music loud? And am I in the middle? I just got a few minutes. I'm off to the gym, but I've got a few minutes, so I thought I'd come and say hello, see how everyone's doing. Eliza's here, better known as Purple Piplup. How's my mic sounding? I'm not using the wireless one today in case we get that horrible distortion from before. How are you doing, Eliza? What are you up to? Johnny the Legs is here. Jorty Yard or Yorty Yard? How am I saying that? Let me know. Welcome to you. Kevin Isbell, I'm so sleepy. Why are you guys up so late? Late? It's 10 to 8 in the morning. Are you guys in China? This is like, is this AA for vegans or something? Just a general little chit chat, really. Any fitness, health, nutrition questions, general vegan stuff? I might be able to answer some of those potentially for you if you're lucky. Other than that, it's just a little hangout, really. Where in the world are you, Kevin? Farley Gamers in the house. Where are you guys? There's a couple of newbies in here today. Where are you guys from? How's the vegan scene there, if indeed you are vegan? And how are you doing? Johnny the Legs. Yep, 7:45. Are you in Cornwall somewhere? Or Devon, Johnny, do I remember? Oh, hi.
Naked.
There's a naked lady just went past. Swit swew, I say. Yoshi Fan 109 is in Melbourne. I love coming on early my time, because I catch some Australians, and you guys are my third biggest audience, so it's nice to see you. So how's everyone? What are you up to today? Where are you in the world, if you haven't said already? And has anyone got a question for your local neighbourhood vegan, ex-PT, ex-nutritionist, current YouTuber? Yeah, Land's End, Cornwall. Yeah, I love Cornwall, beautiful part of the country. I went there as a lad. Remember there were like palm trees. Like maybe I'm there now. I've got some behind me. I'm sorry to say I didn't know any better, and I ate one of those, do you call them like cream teas, like the old clotted cream with a scone or a scone, depending on how posh you are? Yoshi Fan, I'm eating some vegan curry at the moment. Nice. What's it got in there? I favour like a tomato-based chickpea curry or something like that. Chana masala. Try to avoid the old coconut, and what do they use? Cream, you know, with those long and very long chain triglycerides. Okay, so Kevin's in Canada. Whereabouts? There's some good vegan places in Canada, eh? Like I heard Toronto's particularly good. Ilani, is that how I say that? What countries are your top 3 viewers from? I think it was, for the longest time, it was UK, then US, then Australia. And then it became, when I started doing more of the drama type videos, I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but then it went US, UK. I think now UK may be slightly more than US, but it's mostly UK and US. And then I think the next one is Australia, but it's a long way behind the other two. Probably because of I say because of the time I come on, but that's just relative to streaming, isn't it? Obviously videos, you can watch videos anytime, can't you? So, oh yes, lentils and chickpeas, nice. I love it. Johnny the Legs, cream tea, scones, clotted cream, and jam. Yeah, I just would not dream to eat any of that stuff now. Any of it. Clotted cream, I think of clotted arteries, like clogged arteries, blood clots. Jam, like pure sugar almost. I just would not eat that stuff. I've got the Scherzai's new 30-day Alzheimer's solution, and they say that sugar is the very worst thing you want to eat if you don't want to develop Alzheimer's disease. So I won't be eating that again. Speaking of chickpeas, Kitsune Chana is in the house. Chana, I think, is Indian for chickpeas. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yoshi Fan, I recently had a debate with some family members about their misconceptions about tofu and plant-based products. Yep, you're obviously vegan then. Standard. Callum Rawlinson is in the house. Just wanted to say hey, man. Hey to you. How you doing, Callum? Where in the world are you? How's the vegan scene? And how is veganism treating you? Ilani thought us Aussies would have caught up. Rosie Barbsby's in the house. How's everyone going? I'm very well. I just got a few minutes before I'm heading off to the gym, so I thought I'd pop on and just say hello to everyone. It's nice to have some human contact, albeit, well, really, I'm just looking at a camera, so I can see your messages. Yoshi fan, my family believes that soy and tofu is feminizing, so some videos about how it's not. Yeah, so that was some nonsense started by the dairy industry because they were worried that, this was years ago, that like soya milk was hurting their sales of dairy milk. And yeah, they were right to be worried because look at the size of the plant-based milks in supermarkets now. So that's something. Yeah, so I was shooting a video yesterday for our How to Eat Plant-Based Successfully course that we're currently putting together, which we're going to sell. And yeah, so you've got alpha and beta receptors for estrogen. One of them causes ill effects like raised cancer risk. One of them causes positive effects like increased bone density. And basically the phytoestrogens, you know, the plant versions of estrogen, they dock with the same receptors, but they have very little effect on the negative receptors. So they don't raise your risk for cancers. Not only that, but because they block mammalian estrogen, which is like, it's like 10,000, 100%. How many times stronger? 10,000 times? About 10,000 times stronger. So you're lowering the total negative estrogenic effects in the body by having it. So if you look at the countries, like with the most whole soy consumption, they have the least estrogen-dependent cancers. Whereas they dock with when they dock with the positive receptors, they do have a good effect on there. They have like a high affinity with those. And so you get the benefits, like the protection. So yeah, most phytoestrogens are very helpful. I think there's like some that are not so good, like from hops, from drinking beer. So we do see guys with like moobs, like, and sort of beer bellies. Callum, why are coconuts bad? How much is too much? So a whole coconut, supposedly a bit of flesh, seems to be okay. But there are the long and very long chain triglycerides, the types of saturated fat that cause elevated serum LDL and increase our risk of the number one killer, heart disease. But when we eat them whole, like a bit of it, I mean, these fats are attached to fiber, like much of it like passes through. But when we extract, particularly like the oil is the worst, but anything where you've like removed the fiber, you know, you're getting a big flood of these very negative saturated fats, and yeah, it raises the risk for the number one killer. That the fats, the long and very long chain triglycerides in coconut oil, there's actually so much of them that you'd be better off eating tallow, eating beef fat, than eating coconut oil in terms of raised LDL and like heart disease risk. So not as bad as butter, but worse than beef fat, in fact. So there's some tropical, they call them tropical oils, like vegan fat sources that are as bad or sometimes worse than some animal products. So it's coconut oil, obviously also coconut yogurt, coconut milk. Yogurt and the milk, it's not so much of it. Like there's probably like a bit, you can have like a bit of that stuff and get away with it. But you need your serum LDL to be below 700 milligrams per deciliter. And I don't know how much of that I can drink and still have that going on. So I don't want to risk it. So it's coconut fats, like extracted from the coconut, and then palm oil, palm kernel oil, cocoa butter. So these are actually four kind of sources of fats. Palm oil, palm kernel oil is from the palm fruit and the palm fruit kernel. So it's from the same plant, but different parts of the plant. But yeah, high, long and very long chain triglycerides. Plant-based powders in the house, my good friend. Kitsune, or Kitsune, that looks like a Japanese name. A friend at work told me how he had a heart attack at 39, 10 years old, and he's now come to me asking about plant-based diet. I have taught him so much. Very good. Very, very good. Plant-based pad. I am on a stranded island. There is a pig here. There's nothing else to eat. But the fact that the pig's alive means that there's some kind of crazy magic. And so I don't actually have to eat anything while I'm on this island. So I'm all right. Yeah, Veganistan, the island's called. You might have seen I recently did a reel doing a joke about the desert island thing. That's quite good. If I do say so myself. Richard Benham's in the house. Good to see you, brother. Oh, and I should salute. How you doing, Richard? You keeping well? Kitsune? No, he's doing his own research. Told him to check you out. It's so much better weight and has so much more colour. Yeah. Tell him to look up Dr. Esselstyn, Caldwell Esselstyn, Dr. Ornish. What is Caldwell Esselstyn's book? The Treat and Reverse Heart Disease, is it called? Is it the program for treating and reversing heart disease? I need to look that up. Caldwell Esselstyn book. Prevent and reverse heart disease. Very good. Dry legs, fructose and sucrose I'll do, but not fatty food. It makes me feel like crap. Makes me feel like crap too. Yeah, but like I say, looking at the Scherzey's book, I wasn't really eating free sugars anyway. Maybe a little maple syrup on occasion, but they're saying maple syrup, agave, sugar, fruit juice. They're saying if you want to develop Alzheimer's disease, like they're the top things to be consuming, worse than animal fats. Not that animal fats obviously are still very bad as well, but they've been looking at the latest research and they've got a graph showing you. So whole plant foods were good. Just on the inside of good was extra virgin olive oil, but they're saying they still wouldn't recommend having a lot of it. And then neutral, I think coconut was up on the worst end of neutral towards like harmful. And there was a couple of animal products here, I think, maybe egg whites, a couple of the naughtier sort of plant foods, maybe like wine or something, I can't remember. But then in the bad zone is obviously all your animal products. But yeah, worst of all, they said free sugars, and they've really been looking at all the latest research. So it scared the hell out of me. It's one of the fastest growing illnesses, is Alzheimer's disease, and you lose your loved ones before they're gone. You have to care for them. Or if you develop that, you become a burden for your loved ones and you're confused and scared. Horrible disease. Yeah, not for me. Richard Benham, thoughts on jackfruit? It's delicious. Fresh jackfruit is lovely. I don't know if you've had it. It's a massive thing with spikes. And it's sort of got this latexy type stuff that comes out of it, like a sort of glue. So oftentimes, a lot of people say that you have to like oil your knife, which obviously I don't want to be eating oil, but to actually be able to cut through the stuff, if not it all like sticks. I don't know. I think that's jackfruit. I don't think that's durian. I'm sure that's the one. Or is it both of them? Really sticky. Tastes like pineapple bubblegum. Fresh jackfruit is so tasty. Yeah, so you get it canned, don't you? And I think because of the negatives from canned linings, like the sort of xenoestrogens, and how that, how long they're sitting on the shelf, I don't see that as healthful. I think fresh or dried fruit, frozen fruit, canned, no, not so much. It's probably, on the scale of things, not really giving you benefits. But yeah, people make like pulled jackfruit, don't they? Like pulled pork. I must admit, I was at this festival years ago, Vivolution, not Vivolution, London, Vegan Futures. That was a forerunner of Vivolution, and I was so hungry, and I finally got to the front of the queue, and I got pulled Jack wraps. I couldn't eat them. Just the texture reminded me of meat, and I was nearly sick. But some people love them. Don't let me put you off. Kelly Horrocks is in the house. How you doing, my darling? Good to see you. Yoshi Fan is in Melbourne. 2 restaurants that I regularly eat at. Some meals for less than $10. Very good. Scott Johnson's in the house. How are you, brother? Oh, all you can eat for less than $10. What? I need to get in there when I'm on a bulk. Jack Bridie, the Lion. £200 maintenance is about 3,200 calories. Highly active. What calories would you put for a cut? I'm eating 100% healthy, plant-based, also vegan. Good for you. Well, you know, you have to. It's a bit of trial and error, really. You can like ballpark a rough amount of calories, but I say like weekly weigh-ins after the loo, before you eat and drink, and titrate your calories so that you lose no more than 1% of your total body fat each week. So theoretically, you could do, if you want 3,200, and you're 200 pounds, so that's £2, isn't it? What am I talking about? See, I normally just go for £1 to half a pound fat loss personally, because I think over the long term that's a lot more sustainable. And obviously you have to trim that down as your weight sort of comes off. So I'd take off about 500 calories. I'd go in at about 2,700, maybe 2,500. Yeah, but just keep a track of yourself. Yeah, they say like 1% is alright, like £2 a week, but I don't know if that's a bit aggressive, really. Depends like how much. I think it's just good not to be in a rush. And as I've got older, I've wanted to do it slower and slower. So yeah, personally, I'd go 2.7 personally, but you might be able to get away with a bit more for a while. Purple Piplup. Eliza, I'll be having some breakfast soon. Very nice. What did I have for breakfast? I had Heinz sugar-free baked beans on whole grain bread. I had 4 of those. 2 tablespoons of nooch, a load of dried chives, a load of black pepper, and some red onion chopped up on top. That was nice. And then I had a smoothie with dates, blueberries, protein powder, creatine, and kelp, the seaweed kelp. It's not a powder, it's flakes, which is less dense than the powder. So instead of a 1/16 of a teaspoon, which is the minimum RDA, I went for a 1/4 of a teaspoon, which might be up to sort of double the minimum RDA, probably about 300 micrograms. The upper tolerable daily limit of iodine is 1,100, so it's well within that. But I don't want to just scrape in at the minimum to hopefully avoid disease, particularly when a lot of these nutrients are based off of someone with like the caloric needs of an average person, which my needs are getting on for double. So yeah, that's my concern. You don't want to overdo kelp. That's easy to overdo that one. You need to be careful. Also known as kombu. Plant-based powered, all you got to eat is coconuts. I think I would drink the water and just eat a tiny bit of flesh each day if that was the case. Mark Crossey's in the house, good to see you. Eliza's having oats with flaxseed, chia seeds and blueberries. Oh, so I had flax and chia as well. I forgot to say those. So yeah, we're having nearly the same breakfast. Except I had mine in a smoothie. Don't eat the legs, fruit, rice and pasta mostly for me. I only use gels and supplements at the business end of an event. Yeah, makes sense. Yoshi fan, what's your opinion of Durian Rider? He's a bellend, and how he believes that refined sugar is good for you. He's a complete bellend. Yeah, all I can say about that is he's not up to date with the latest Alzheimer's research, and he probably, if he's not mental now, he will be in a minute. Aliad is in the house. Good to see you. How are you, my friend? Where in the world are you? How's the vegan scene, and how's veganism treating you? Ilani, I had oats for my breakfast too with dates, cut up green apple, cut up plums. I keep forgetting the flax and chia. You mustn't. You mustn't. You keep forgetting the flax and chia because you've not had your omega-3s and your brain's not working as well. Get it? Kitsune, Japanese for fox. Chana is just tweaked for cha. Cha. Fox cha. So is your name like Charlotte? I can't quite make out what your avatar is there, whether you're a boy or girl flavoured. Kitsune, Japanese for fox. I never knew that. I've got a lot of love for Japanese culture. I did karate for a lot of years. Yeah, I thought that was a Japanese word. Kitsune. Liam, has Threads responded to your 51 reads? He's never responded to any of my videos because he can't, because he knows he's a bellend. And what was the other video? The what's Sverige eats in a day? Like, he was short on 9 essential nutrients, let alone his 15 made up pretend nutrients, like unessential nutrients, nutrients that are found in a vegan diet, nutrients that is just mislabeled. Vitamin G. Jay Hess is in the house. Love you, Paul. Big kiss. Right back at you, perpetually annoyed. Hello. Hello. Kelly Horrocks, I'm great, thank you. Hope you're well this morning. I'm super good. I'm off to the gym shortly. I've done my cold shower, did my breath work, did my meditation, answered all my Instagram messages, not DMs, because I didn't have time to even look at them, but just all my comments there. Yeah, and I just had like 45 minutes, so I thought I'll come and say hello to you guys. Plant-based powered vegan gains has banned me for the last time on his live stream for the 5th time, so I'm done with him for disagreeing with him. How dare you disagree with him? No, I lost interest with him ages ago. Kitsune, please message me the name of the document for my friend to watch about reversing heart disease. Here we go. Boom. This is his book as well. I'll put it in the chat. Kaushal Golula. That's a cool name. What if you exercise in such a way such that you lose muscle but you're not lose fat but you're not building muscle? I'm not sure exactly what the question is. What if you exercise in such a way that you lose fat but you're not building muscle? Then you will be eating in a caloric deficit. That's all I can really tell you. I'm not sure what if there's a question there. Well, there is. What if? So what if sounds like a question, but then you're saying that you exercise in such a way. Oh, but you want to build muscle as well? Is that the question? And if that's the question, you're in a caloric deficit because your weight's going down, because you're maintaining your muscle and strength but losing fat. And if you want to build muscle as well, you need some more calories. So recompositioning doesn't tend to work terribly well in like a long training like athlete. But if you're new to working out, or if you're an experienced lifter coming back after an extended layoff, you may be able to build muscle and burn fat for quite a while. potentially, but you need to be in a caloric balance. So you just need a few more calories. So I say once a week after the loo, before you eat and drink, weigh yourself, take a note of your weight, and then you need to titrate your calories so that each week you're staying at that weight. Yeah, and then so if your strength starts to creep up, but you're staying at that body weight, obviously you're building some muscle. So therefore, if your weight's the same, but you're building muscle, obviously you're burning fat as well. And that's how that works. Jay Hess, are you taking a piss? Why not? Sarah E. Hi Paul, my blood tests results say I'm very low on iron, eating whole foods plant-based. What's your go-to source of iron? Something I add to every meal. Thanks heaps. Thanks for the question, Sarah. To be honest, it's not a nutrient of concern. It's not something I ever think about. So I used to write nutrition plans for people. I often refer to this plan. It was for 1,750 calories. So it was for a lady doing a cut, like losing weight. So it's on the lower end of the amount of calories I'd ever really recommend for someone. And without trying, I got her 367% of her RDA for iron. So I think if you're eating adequate calories, if you're just eating whole plant foods, and if you're eating the range of whole plant foods, legumes, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, herbs and spices, you shouldn't have to think about it. So I'm not calling you a liar, I don't know, but I'm just questioning, are you eating like whole foods, or are you eating a little whole foods and some junk foods which are nutritionally bereft? So yeah, like I say, without trying, I got in nearly 4 times her RDA for iron. The main contributors were 2/3 of a can of lentils, gave her 67% of her iron for the day. Can of tomatoes, 65%. So there's like 130% of your RDA, just from 2/3 of a can of lentils and 1 can of tomatoes. And that's without, she had 3 meals. Other contributors were spinach, oats, kidney beans, quinoa, sweet potato, kale, mushrooms, and mixed berries. So, do you know what I mean? These are all very basic staples. So, I'm kind of questioning how good your diet is. If you are eating really well and your iron is still low, then I guess you've got some kind of issue going on there. So, what can hurt iron absorption? You don't want to be having, is it tea and coffee? Is it both of them? Or is it just tea? Is it tannins from tea, block iron absorption? I don't know. But if you're having, hot beverages, maybe you want to have them between meals rather than at meal times, if that's a thing. Of course, we say, vitamin C. Well, again, if you're eating a healthy diet, it's not a nutrient of concern. So in this plan that I did, the lady got 674% of her vitamin C. So in each meal, the vitamin C was already present. So, yeah, I just wonder if you're eating entirely well, but you say you're eating well. And if that is the case, I would say, you may, if the caffeinated drink's not a thing, maybe you've got some kind of absorption issue there, some kind of gut issue. I mean, is your gut functioning well, or do you have trouble with digestion, elimination? Are your stools well formed? Sorry to ask you about your poo-poo at this time of day. That's what I would be worried about. Jay Hess, supplementing iron is okay. You want to be careful, particularly if it's heme iron. That can give you cancers, raise risk for heart disease. Heme iron is horrible. You shouldn't need to supplement iron. Like I said, nearly 4 times the RDA of iron just from a low calorie diet. You don't need to supplement iron. And I don't recommend many supplements really. B12, D3, maybe DHA. But normal vitamins and minerals, other than those ones, you shouldn't need to supplement. And if you look at meta-analysis, if anything at all, more studies have not found harm from taking these synthetic, shotgun, unnatural amounts of different nutrients in isolation. it's not a whole food, is it? Do you know what I mean? We say like whole plant foods are the healthiest, and then processed things. Well, a lot of these synthetic vitamins and minerals are made in a lab from nonsense, and they are associated with increased like risks of cancer or calcification of your organs or blood clots. Like, I wouldn't be taking those lightheartedly. Yoshi, what's your take on online services that offer personalised vitamins? Yeah, I've been approached by one or two. I told them to do one, and just marketing hoopla. Is that the word? That's not the word, is it? Just marketing like nonsense. It's eat real food. Eat real food. I actually, one approached me and I did a blood test just to see what happened. And I'd said I was vegan in the questionnaire, and they wanted to send me this vegan targeted like supplement, but I already took care of all my nutrients, so it was BS. Yeah, I don't trust them one little bit. Clear reality, what to do if your body can't convert beta carotene? Well, none of our bodies can convert beta carotene well, but it's not something that you usually have to worry about. I mean, you'd know if you had like a medical problem where you basically couldn't really do it. But again, going back to this plan, I wrote a plan for a lady on a cut. It was a very low amount of calories. And just by eating the range of whole plant foods, I got her 2,400% of her vitamin A. 2,400%. Now, obviously, this wasn't retinol. This wasn't animal version of vitamin A. It's the carotenoids. There's like 600 odd different carotenoids that we convert into retinol. But all you're looking for is, for a lady, 700. For a man, 900 micrograms of retinol activity equivalent. And without trying, I got her 3,594 micrograms. So for the vast, vast majority of people, it's not something that you'll ever need to worry about unless you really do have some kind of like genetic defect or something. In which case you'd soon know about it, and you'd get that looked at. And yeah, you can take a vitamin A supplement. But for virtually everyone, you need so little. There's carotenoids in green, yellow, orange, and red produce. So unless you're just eating like grains or like sugar and oil or something, if you're eating some healthy food, the vast, vast, vast majority of people would never have to worry about that one little bit. Angharad's life is in the house.
Oh, she's good people.
She's really good people, isn't she?
Good morning.
Say hello to her.
Hi everyone. Hi Anchorad. Hi everyone else. What are you doing? I thought it was Sunday. I got really confused. You don't normally come on a Friday.
Well, I had 45 minutes and I was all up to date with stuff, so I thought I'd come and see my peeps.
Ah, okay then. Well, that's nice. I'm going to go and meditate now. How much longer are you on for?
About 7 minutes, and then I need to get to the gym.
Okay then. I'll wait until you go to the gym then. It'll be more quiet for me. I hope everyone's doing well today. I've just done my cold shower. Got my onesie straight on.
Are we going to do an ice bath?
Yeah, there we go.
We're going to do an ice bath, are we mad?
I mean, it's a bit of a step up because in the cold shower it's only on one side of you at a time.
Yeah.
And when you get used to that, you turn to the other side.
Yeah.
But, an ice bath is just straight into the blooming depths of
hell.
Cold hell.
Ruja Shida, my friend, said also you can do just your feet or just your hands because they are the most painful bits.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I thought I heard Wim Hof say for like Raynaud's, you want to do cold ice like therapy or whatever with your hands.
Yeah.
That sounds so counterintuitive because I don't know if I ever touched that because my hands feel like they burn under cold water.
Yeah.
When I'm washing up if the water's not on, whatever. So but I'll try it though. Yeah, I would definitely. I'll give it a go.
Are we mad? We're going to get about 10 bags of ice from Aldi. That'll be about £7 in money. Fill the bath up with cold water.
Yeah.
And ice cubes.
Oh.
Make an interesting bit of a vlog, won't it? Are we mad? Would you try it?
And tell everyone why we would want to do such a thing. Like, what's he saying? Like, is good about this cold therapy?
Oh, so like immune boosting, anti-depression. What else?
It definitely gives me a boost in my mood. Definitely a lift.
It wakes you up. I'll tell you that.
It really wakes you up in the morning. Yeah, definitely. It's like having an espresso, but you don't need to have any caffeine.
Oh, and then the sudden rise in temperature after, like, helps you to be more awake through the day. And if you struggle to get up in the morning, just do that like 2 or 3 times. It's called phase shifting, and it makes you wake up earlier the next day. So I know. I got up at 5 today.
Wow.
At 5 a.m. Straight in the cold shower.
Brilliant. Some mornings I'll have a cold shower and I feel like a rush. I guess it's like a rush of endorphins, and I'm like laughing and like crying with joy in the shower. It doesn't happen every day, but like some days I feel so happy just from a pretty cold shower. Excuse me. Sorry, Anchorhead. From a cold shower, like.
Why are we always saying sorry to Anchorhead?
Because we shouldn't be naughty in front of Anchorhead.
Yeah. She's a lovely girl. Do subscribe to Anchorhead's Life, by the way.
Yeah,
she's
go
good
on.
stuff.
She's lovely.
Come on.
Come on, she deserves more subs than that.
Yeah.
Whatever the number is, she deserves more than that.
And so do we. So tell your friends to subscribe to us, everyone. Right. Sarah. Well said. Plant-based power, do you like Freely's coconuts? Yeah, I mean, she seems nice enough to me. I don't watch her a whole lot. She did wear one of our t-shirts once on national TV, one of our plant-based games t-shirts. She was on Australian daytime TV. Chris Grant's in the house. Good to see you, brother. Oh, Charmaine. Right, nice. Now I know. How have you been?
I was spiding it, but
Spider catcher.
broken there.
Clear reality is bigging up for Vipassana meditation.
Anybody want to see Cal?
That sounds great.
Here he is.
That don't surprise me, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised. He's good.
Do a kiss to him.
Hi.
You like it, he said.
Oh, Vanilla Bunny, you said you wanted a live stream. Just woke up, noticed that this. What's your take on eating your BMR to lose weight? What is your take on eating your basal metabolic rate to lose weight? So BMR is how many calories you need to just maintain if you were, say, having bed rest. So that would be a daft strategy, because say you were mega active, say you were a bricklayer or something, and then you did like mad weight training, and maybe you went for a run in the morning. Do you know what I mean? You'd be burning so many calories, you'd be losing weight far too quick. And then if you just lay in bed all day anyway, you'd lose nothing. So yeah, that's not a very good strategy. You'd want to be in a caloric deficit whereby you lose no more than 1% of your total body weight each week. That's how to do that.
What about the total daily energy expenditure calculator thing?
So that works out your BMR. Yeah, if you don't know how to do all this, type TDEE into a search browser. Into your search bar of your browser, and you'll come up with a total daily energy expenditure calculator. You can tell them like your age, sex, height, weight, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes a rough body fat percentage if they're really good, and it'll tell you your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. And then from there, as I say, you want to do a weighing protocol once a week after the loo, before you eat and drink, to find out what is your BMR. Sorry, that cat confused me, and then I had a brain fart. So you got your BMR, yeah, and then, once a week you want to weigh yourself, and then just take off enough calories so that you're probably about 500 calories below. I think that's right. J. Hess, don't dark leafy greens contain iron like spinach? Yep, spinach is one of those high oxalate vegetables. However, like beet greens and chard. So you only really want 1 serving of those per day, one of those. Also, other high oxalate foods are starfruit or carambola. It's also called rhubarb. And now oxalates bind with certain minerals. I think iron's probably one of them. Certainly like calcium. So you can come up short if you go. So if you just relied on spinach for minerals, certain minerals anyway, yeah, you might come up short. Chris, Hench, do you have any advice for my hip every time I lift when it pops and thuds? Yeah, I've got that as well. Is this because my burst is damaged from cycling exercise? I think it's just one of those things, I'm afraid. Yeah, I have no end of that, and I don't believe there is anything you can do about it. And it's not necessarily anything to worry about. A few of my joints do that. Plant-based powered, yeah. Cordell Esselstyn was a heart surgeon. If he's not now, is he retired now? He's getting on a bit, isn't he? Yep, it's great stuff. Right, I better go, guys, because I need to get to the gym. When I get there, I want to do my yoga and whatnot before my training buddy gets there. So, thanks moderators for keeping us troll free. Do join us tonight if you're about 6 p.m. GMT. Both Gemma and myself will be on this time, so we can have a nice hangout with you. And yeah, have a lovely day. Do follow me on the Instas, me and Gemma. There's our handles. And if you're new, we'd love you to become part of the Hench Herbivore community. So hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon so you're notified of new videos. And yeah, we'll hope to see you tonight if you're about. Have an awesome day, afternoon, evening, night, depending on where you are in the world. Thanks for hanging out.